It is a fact that Disney is one of the most beloved brands in the world. And I just came back from experiencing from a different perspective. And my business brain was on fire the whole time that I was there. And I come to you with three principles that are the foundation of why Disney is such a beloved brand and are things that you can implement into your own and make it a brand people love, people buy to, and people continue coming back for more. Hello, my love. Welcome to Brand Confidence for Creatives. Are you feeling stuck in a cycle of overthinking, trying to build your brand? I'm Eugenia, but you can call me E. I'm a marketing and brand coach, and I spent years stuck in the cycle of researching, hesitating, and hiding until I got clear on my voice and my message. In this podcast, I'll guide you through the strategies you need to get clear on what you want to say, build a personal brand, and create consistent magnetic marketing. If you ever thought, I know I have something to say, I just don't know how to say it, you are in the right place. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. First things first, let's state the obvious. I have a little bit of a cold. I'm a little bit under the weather. So I know that you listen to my voice regularly and probably you're like, why does she sound like this? Well, that's the reason why. But I am very excited. I didn't want to stop making this episode because I went to Disney with my family a few weeks ago. And the whole time I was there, my brain was on fire because this trip, we did something different. It was a no park Disney trip. And at first, I was a little bit nervous because every time I've gone to Disney, it's been a Disney kind of trip, like Disney park kind of trip. So here I didn't know what to expect. So what we did is that we went to Disney Springs and then we visited a bunch of hotels that are Disney properties. And the experience was just so wonderful. I 100% recommend that you do it if you have the chance because it is beautiful. It is still Disney in so many representations and so many facets. And the whole going from one hotel to the other felt a little bit of head hunting. So that was actually super, super fun. And what I noticed and experienced firsthand was that Disney is a brand that people love and know, regardless of the products they have, because not because of a positioning statement that is very strong or strong messaging. Like, sure, they have that for the brand, they have that for all the individual brands like the parks and ESPN and all of those things. But it is about what I noticed was in their posture, in the way they approached the business they were building. And they are actually pretty accessible things that we can implement in our businesses too. Number one, and that was the foundation of everything I saw, was service. And this was not service as a tactic. This was not service as in, okay, you are my customer. Let me give you great service now that you're paying for this. This is an approach. This is who they are. They are a company where you can expect incredible service. So when I went to one of the hotels, the Grand Floridian, my baby, we had to go change him. We had to go refresh him. He had been sweating all day long. So we went to the bathroom and I gave him, well, my mother-in-law gave him a quick bath in the bathroom, like the guest bathroom, and an employee came in. And we were not guests there. And she was like, hey, are you okay? Do you need anything? Are you comfortable? Do you need any refill? Do you need me to clean anything so you can be more comfortable? And to me, I was flabbergasted because again, I'm not a guest, yet I was being treated like I am a VIP at the hotel. And I think it's such a shift because we come, many of us, from the world of provide great customer service, but we don't have necessarily the perspective of serving anyone that comes in our orbit, regardless of our job, regardless of their paying status. That brand is founded, the posture in which everyone stands is service. So the posture of service says, how do I answer whatever's in front of me? It could be through content, it could be at a conversation, it could be through a DM, it could be through your podcast, it could be, again, through your services. Whoever is here, whoever's present, how do I help them solve something? I think it's also incredibly valuable or valuing of the people that are in front of you in the moment, because then you're not thinking of, oh, I have X amount of followers, or I have X amount of subscribers, or I had a workshop, I had X amount of people coming to my workshop, and then you start thinking about, okay, let me see what's the next number I can hit. Was this a good number? Was not a good number? No, a service posture says, I have this number of people in my community, in my orbit. How can I serve them well? Then principle number 2 was excellence. Everyone was just excellent at what they were doing. And notice I didn't say perfection, because perfection does not exist. It is an impossible standard. Perfection means without a fault. And obviously, we all make mistakes. But I think many times, many businesses, because they know that perfection is impossible, they've stopped chasing excellence. And excellence means doing the best that you can do with what you have in the moment. The pianist in the lobby at the Grand Floridian, he was excellent, even though he was just a pianist giving a very specific presentation. He was being excellent at that time. The smell, the details. There is a brand manager probably, or a hotel manager for Animal Kingdom. There's one for the Grand Floridian. Yet every detail was taken care of. The smell was so distinctive. The smell of leather and oak at the Animal Kingdom Lodge was incredible. You truly felt like you were in this camp in Africa. It was so special. Basically, it's looking at your business and looking at your brand as a whole, and then every single offer that you have, every single touch point, and then adding care and attention to detail in every layer, the best way that you can do it. And I know that sometimes, especially with things that are very high rhythm, for example, content rhythms and schedules tend to be fast. And sometimes we have calendars that go from launch to speaking engagement to podcast to creating a new offer to getting clarity because something happened in our personal lives. And I understand that the rhythm feels like we need to go very fast and we need to just do good enough. And I do think that the concept of minimal viable product has a time and place of just getting things out there. But a minimal viable product, meaning what's the minimum thing I can get out there, cannot stay a minimum viable product forever. Eventually, if a minimum viable product is not improved, it's going to become a mediocre product. So that spirit of excellence, that posture of excellence, of doing the best we can, not because someone's watching, not because I want to be perfect, not because I want validation, not because someone else is doing it, but because it is my standard. It is my hard posture of being excellent and serving with excellence. That is motivation in and of itself. And that pays off in the way people experience your brand at any touch point. And the third principle is integrity. And integrity means being whole, being complete. And you show your integrity, yes, in your values, but in a more tangible way in every single interaction, every single product, offer, everything feels like part of the same brand. We went to different properties, and obviously properties are different. They have different themes, they have different price points, they have different ways to get there. You get to ones by monorail, you get to ones by boat, like you have different combinations. And yet, all of the properties felt very Disney, very magical, very family oriented. And that's because the business stands in integrity. They could have managers for all of their different businesses and it still feels the same. And it was so much so that at one point we were trying to get to a hotel and we had to take the monorail to get there. The thing is that I didn't know that are two monorails in Disney, one that goes from this is Disney World, one that goes from Epcot to Magic Kingdom back and forth, and another one that goes to Magic Kingdom but goes also through different hotels. Like I thought it was only one. So we got lost. We had the babies. My son was crying. It was very chaotic. And we were just in the monorail trying to figure out where to go. And a lady next to us says, "Hey, excuse me, I don't want to be intrusive, but I'm a driver actually for here for the buses, like in between parks and Disney Springs, and I would love to help you get situated." I just want you to understand how, like, the integrity of that moment. That woman, she was on her day off, but because excellence and service are in her posture of how she just approaches life, whenever she sees someone struggling to find directions, to find their way, having a harsh time, she just doesn't say, oh, you know what? I know I'm supposed to be helpful. I know that I'm supposed to go above and beyond, but I'm not gonna do it right now because it's my day off. Like, I'm just gonna get off and have like let them figure it out. It is crazy that we got off the monorail and she spent like 5 minutes with us, guiding us to what we had to do, what hotels were better, and it wasn't even her day of working. No one would have known. If she wouldn't have helped us, no one would have known. Her manager wouldn't have come to her and said, hey, you didn't help people. She did it because that's who she is. And you could say, sure, you were near the Disney park, so of course they were like that. But no, because I was at Disney Spring and we were trying to find the little water taxi to go to another hotel, and I didn't know where to find it. And I stopped a random security guard from Disney Springs, and he was so kind, so helpful, gave me directions. It was very joyful experience. Again, keeping the brand promise of magic and a wholesome experience. He was that person, which if you ever, I don't know if you've ever had interactions with a security guard at, you know, at a mall or a concert, something like that. They're not very pleasant. They are very one word type of people. Not this guy. He was excellent. Again, because excellence and service isn't who they are, and they have integrity. So, as a whole, everything that has the name Disney is consistent. So, it doesn't matter if you encounter the brand through the park, which has a price point, through the hotel, which has another very different price point, or through an employee that is not even working. That brand encounter, even if you don't know, even if you're not expecting it, is going to match the story and the values and the beliefs and the world that the brand is trying to build. And integrity is the true key to authenticity. We hear so much online about being authentic, being yourself, and that can create such a huge pressure to perform and or to overshare, or maybe we want to have a company that's more elevated positioning. So we start performing and using words that are not really natural to us, or having a visual element that's completely different from what we look like. And we end up looking like just like a 2018 Pinterest board of what an entrepreneur was supposed to look like. And it's because we are trying to look the part. Everyone says, oh, you got to do high ticket, you got to go premium, you got to do all these things. And we adjust the personality of what we think the business model requires. Instead, Disney is teaching us that from your integrity in your DNA, it is so much easier to maintain. It is so much easier to have employees that align with your values, with your beliefs, with your perspectives. It is so much easier to be consistent across your programs, to be consistent across your content, to if people find you at Publix, if they find you in the grocery store, even though you're not going to be looking exactly the same, but it's going to be consistent. That is called integrity. And that's something that sets the Disney brand apart, because the magic doesn't start once you enter the park. The magic starts the moment you cross the line of anything with the Disney name, whether that's in a property, whether that's at a Walmart section. There in Orlando, they had a huge Disney Walmart section, and that section is magical in and of itself. Any way that you encounter the brand, the magic starts. They don't wait for the high ticket paying clients. They don't pay for the clients that are paying them $2,000 a night. Every person that comes in contact, they get to experience the brand. And to you, this can look like your programs, your photos, your content, everything can be a more polished version of you, absolutely, but it still has to be you, because that's what's going to make it so easy for you to show up in integrity, to serve, and in excellence. So this is not a little framework. This is not a little tactic. This is about your heart, the way your heart shows up, the way you show up, the way you open your laptop and you look at your emails, the way you respond to your DMs, the way you appreciate the likes that you got, the downloads that you got, the views that you got, the new subscribers. Everything changes the moment you commit to being of service, in excellence, and in integrity. I believe in you. I'm rooting for you. Pray for your girl that this sickness goes away, and I see you back here very soon. Un beso. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you loved it, don't keep it to yourself. Send it to a friend who's also trying to grow their brand without losing themselves in the process. And if you want to make my day, drop a quick review on Apple Podcasts. Seriously, it means the world to me, and I know that this show is helping you show up with confidence and clarity. See you back here soon for the next episode. Un beso.